Islam Makhachev is a better version of former UFC lightweight champion Khabib, says his manager, Ali Abdelaziz. Makhachev returns to the octagon later this month at UFC 267 when he fights Dan Hooker in an important lightweight bout between two top 10 ranked fighters. Makhachev is 9-1 overall in the UFC and he's currently riding an 8-fight win streak, and he's looked dominant in all of his wins. It's only natural that the comparison towards Khabib is made given that they are teammates. They've both been dominant grappling-based fighters, and both are represented by the same manager in terms of Abdelaziz, so the comparison is there. Speaking to TMZ Sports in a recent interview, Abdelaziz praised Makhachev, who he believes is going to defeat Hooker in 2 weeks' time. Not only did Abdelaziz believe that Makhachev has all the makings of a future champ, but he thinks that he can be better than Khabib, which is obviously high praise given that Khabib went 29-0. I think he's going to be one of the greatest fighters ever. I think he's a better version of Khabib. I truly believe he is. He's not now, but he can be, and I think he's a future world champion for sure. Of course, Makhachev has a tough task ahead of him in Hooker at UFC 267. Although the Russian is a big favorite to win the fight, there's no doubt that it is a step up in competition from the likes of Drew Dober and Thiago Moises. A win over Hooker would put Makhachev at 10-1 and on a 9-fight win streak, and at that point it would be hard to deny him a title shot at 155 pounds. On a recent episode of the Mike Swick podcast, Javier Mendez reacted to Luis Pena getting released from the UFC following his latest arrest on battery and domestic violence charges. He had the following to say: "I'm not surprised. To me, when he was training at our gyms, he was fantastic. There was no issue between him and I, but there were issues between him and other people where he did people in. I was actually going to ask him to leave the gym because of what he did to one of the fighters, and it wasn't cool what he did at all. So if he has mental illness, then I hope he gets the help that he needs. But I wasn't about to let what he did slide in my gym either. So he left on his own. He did some stuff he shouldn't have done. One of the things I do know he did do is he didn't pay the coaches. He didn't pay any of the coaches, and he apologized for that. And I talked to him about that, and he said he'd take care of it, but never did. So he's a troubled guy. He's a troubled guy, and if he's got mental illness, then I wish him the best. But if he's putting his hands on women, you get what you deserve. He seems to be a mess all of the time." For his upcoming trilogy fight against Brandon Moreno, Figueiredo is training with Henry Cejudo, who was Brandon Moreno's training partner back before Brandon apparently betrayed him. In a recent interview with MMA Junkie, Figueiredo had the following to say: "I love to be here, and when I arrived, Cejudo told me about Brandon Moreno. Moreno lived 2 years in Cejudo's house, and after that, left for another camp to help Benavidez fight Cejudo. He betrayed Cejudo. I'm going to be very happy in taking Moreno's head off and giving it to Cejudo because in our sport, you can't be a traitor. I come here because the main thing was the focus, and I wanted to be out of my gym. I wanted to be with Cejudo because he was the champion. Lions walk with lions." UFC middleweight champion Israel Adesanya marked Marvin Vettori following the criticism of his performance and win at UFC 263. Vettori recently had some choice words to say about the champ, suggesting that he isn't actually that much of a better fighter, only that he fought a smart fight at UFC 263. Of course, this was the second time that Adesanya had defeated Vettori. The two previously met in 2018, with Adesanya winning in a split decision. After Vettori went on a roll, the rematch took place this year. Only, Adesanya proved he's the better man with another win. Hearing the criticism from Vettori, Adesanya took to his social media to mock his rival about the latest comments, tweeting, "Smarter is better, you know the vibes." Back at UFC 263, in what was a clear unanimous decision win for the champ, Vettori had told him in the wake of the fight that he believed he had done enough to win, which was met with an eye roll by Adesanya. Vettori did enough to earn the rematch, but just as how the first fight ended with him losing, the second fight ended with Adesanya winning too.